tendency now to buy your gun and load your gun and lay it on the seat and drive up and down the street with a loaded gun in your car. It's legal in Tennessee. America is a wicked nation. This nation that was once founded on the freedom of religion has turned from God. And America needs to do what Israel did. America needs to come back to the altar and say, Lord, we have sinned. And when Israel admitted their sin, Samuel said, tell them we're going to help them now. You see, there is an answer for America's problems. God said, if my people that are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. God said, I will hear from heaven, I'll forget the sins, and I'll heal the land. And when God heals the land, our boys will pull their pants up. When God heals the land, our girls will pull their dress tails down. When God heals the land, there'll be more young men in college than down in 201 Poplar. When God heals the land, you won't be dying out in the middle of the street. When God heals our land. God said, tell them, I'm going to help them. And when Israel came to Mizpah, and Israel confessed their sins, and Israel turned back to God. But the Bible said while Israel was making peace with God, that the Philistines were getting ready to make war against Israel. Here Israel was standing all around the altar, and the enemy getting ready to attack them. They didn't have any weapons in the temple. They didn't have any soldiers in the temple. They had nowhere to defend themselves in the temple. We call it just like shooting fish in a barrel. There was one way in and one way out. And they had that way blocked. And here they were standing all around the altar, and the enemy coming up to get them. And they said, Samuel, cease not to cry out to the Lord for us. And the Bible says Samuel took a baby lamb and they sacrificed that baby lamb. Samuel took a sucking lamb and sacrificed the little lamb. Samuel took a sucking lamb and sacrificed the little lamb. You ain't got it yet. Samuel took a sucking lamb and sacrificed the baby lamb. Let me make it clear for you. One dark Friday called good, the Lamb of God laid himself out on that old rugged cross for your sin and mine. And when Samuel sacrificed the baby lamb, and the Philistine got closer and got ready to attack, it would have destroyed the nation of Israel. But the Bible said God stepped out on the battlefield. God didn't send an army. God didn't send a legion. God didn't send Michael, the great warrior. God just, the Bible said God just, how many know that God just, everybody that God just clapped his mighty hand. And when God clapped his hand, he thundered a thunder. A thunder so loud that the army got scared. When they got scared, they began to run. And when they began to run, Israel kicked them out of the church. And then Israel got behind the army. And Israel chased them all the way to Bethkar. And see, there was a great thunder. But the great thunder caused great fear. And the great fear led to a great slaughter. All because of great God clapped his mighty hand. And when the Israel got through slaying all of the Philistines, the Bible said that Samuel took a stone and set the stone between Mizpah and Shin. Samuel took a stone and set the stone between Mizpah and Shin. I said Samuel took a stone and put it between Mizpah and Shin. He put it between 2015 and 2016. Samuel took a stone. He put it between Mizpah and Shin. There's a stone between the old and between the new. There's a stone between what I used to be and what I am. There's a stone between where I was going but where I'm headed now. There's a stone between my sin and my forgiveness. And that stone is Jesus. He is the cornerstone that the builders rejected. He's my stone. You ought to have a stone, something that reminds you when God took care of you. He named the stone Ebenezer, called the stone of help. You ought to have an Ebenezer, something to remind you when the God helped you. Every time I look in the mirror and see the scar on my neck, that's my stone. It reminds me when I was walking around with an artery at 95% clogged. Could have had a stroke any day, but I made it up to this point because God helped me. And every time I look in the mirror and see the scars on my face, that's my Ebenezer. It reminds me when I was in Vietnam and I was wounded in the face. Spent 14 months in the hospital. They operated on my face 13 times. Every time I look in the mirror, that's my stone. It reminds me that I made it up to this point. I made it up to now. I made it this far. I made it hitherto because the Lord helped me. Every time I sit down at the table and get ready to eat my dinner, that's my stone because it reminds me that the Lord is feeding me. Every time I get in my car, that's my Ebenezer because it reminds me when all I had was a hoopty. It wouldn't go over 35 miles an hour. Every time I stopped, I had to get a boost to start it back up. I kept an extra quart of oil in the car. So every time I stopped, I checked the oil. I didn't have to raise the hood to check the oil. I looked up under the car to check the oil. That's my Ebenezer. It reminds me that God has blessed me. You ought to have a stone, something to remind you that you made it this far. You made it up to this point. You made it hitherto. Every time you have a pain, that's your Ebenezer. To let you know that the Lord sure help you. And He will. Won't He will? He helped you in 2015. He'll help you in 2016. The same Jesus that gave sight to the blind. The same Jesus that healed blind Bartimaeus. The same Jesus that fed 5,000. The same Jesus that made the lame to walk. The same Jesus that called Lazarus back from the grave. He will. Lord, He will. He will. He'll help you. He helped you yesterday. He helped you today. He'll help you tomorrow. He'll help you in 2016. You ought to have an Ebenezer. You ought to have something that reminds you that the Lord helped you. You didn't make it this far on your own. You didn't make it up to this point because you're so smart. You didn't make it to now because you got it going on. But you made it hitherto up to this point because the Lord helped you. And you ought to have you an Ebenezer, something to remind you. You see, God knows that we are a forgetful people. And so that's why Sandra took the stone, because the stone wasn't going to fade. The stone wasn't going to break. The stone wasn't going to wither away. The stone wasn't going to be moved by the storms of life. You ought to have something immovable in your life to remind you of how you got this far. Something to remind you when you wore shoes with holes in them.